Hey, I'm Gayla. After 20 years of climbing the corporate ladder, I took the leap and started my own business to pursue my dream of creating a work-from-anywhere lifestyle. Having the freedom to work from practically anywhere is such a cool feeling. You're in the right place if you're looking for ideas and inspiration to start and grow your own online business. Every week in this podcast, you'll receive practical ideas, hints, tips, and tricks to help you grow your online business where you can leverage your time and you can accomplish more. You too can experience wonderful adventure and freedom as you live life on your own terms. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Gayla Scrivener Show. I'm so glad you're here. Now, if you were to tell me 10 years ago that I'd have a career in marketing, well, I would have thought you were just totally crazy. I thought today I'd tell you a little story about this reluctant and apprehensive marketer who had transitioned into becoming an owner of a content marketing agency. Now, in the past, the words marketing and advertising would really stir negative emotions in the pit of my stomach. Maybe when it started was, I think maybe my first year of college. I had entered college declaring my major as marketing. I had begun working in a physician's office, I think it was about my second year of college, and it wasn't long that I had convinced myself that I could never sell anything and changed my major to business administration. Now, this seemed like a safe and sound decision. I'd like to say it was, because medical management was to be my career for the next 20 years. So business administration major really served me well for 20 years. And I have no regrets for changing my major. I'm glad about my experience that I gained in what I call my first life. It would have never opened up all the opportunities that I have, or even opened up a second life, my life that I'm living now, after leaving the medical field. Now, after being burnt out in the medical field and making the pivot into becoming an entrepreneur, marketing was inevitable. As a business owner, you've got to think of such things. You've got to market. But even the word marketing brought up this feeling of dread. You've got to do this in your business for survival, but you don't want to be that guy or that gal that's in your face and pushy and being that annoying salesperson. That's the image that I had in my head of what marketing is to push somebody in the corner to try to sell to them. Sell was a 4-letter word to me. Now, fast forward to today, a little over 8 years after I opened my business, and marketing is all I do. And it's wonderful, and I love it. In fact, if you've known me for any length of time and have listened to past episodes of this podcast, you'll know that Scrivener Solutions originally started as a virtual assistant company. Back when I started, it was just me, just hustling to get my first clients. You see, when I started Scrivener Solutions back in 2012 as a virtual assistant business, I thought I could help small business owners with a variety of administrative tasks. I didn't know who I'd serve or what I'd do. I just knew that I could help because I had a lot of administrative and management experience. I wanted to work behind the scenes. See, I love the behind the scenes. I figured that whoever would hire me as a virtual assistant had it all figured out and would know what they wanted to delegate. Well, boy, was I wrong. Most small business owners don't have it all figured out. And, I didn't either. They were unsure how to and what to delegate to a virtual assistant. They just were overwhelmed. And so I ended up being a guide for many of them. I get it because, I was in the same boat, just having this clouded vision of really what I should do. I was a virtual assistant hoping to get some freelance gigs so that I didn't have to return to my traditional 9-to-5 job. That was the reality of it at the very, very beginning. And since I knew I could help small businesses, but really didn't have a clear picture of how, all I knew was I wanted to get out of the medical field and create a new lifestyle. I wanted to break free of this cubicle land that I was living in for so many years and have a lifestyle where I could work and live practically anywhere. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to seem boastful or have the spotlight shown on me. I'm a person who likes to be behind the scenes. For crying out loud, all my career, I have been behind the scenes. In my corporate life, in the medical field, I was administrative support and management. At the forefront of the office were the physicians. I was behind the scenes of the physicians. The patients and their care were our mission. But it was super important in the administrative role that I held to make sure our physicians were cared for too. Quietly making sure the physician's schedule worked well. Taking in the incoming calls, doing the billing, basically everything involved in keeping the office organized and running smoothly, making the physician look good so that they can do their job of tending to our patients' medical needs. Now, I'm comfortable with being behind the scenes. Maybe that's no surprise that when I chose my next career of entrepreneur and opening up Scrivener Solutions, I chose a profession to remain behind the scenes for my clients. But what I find funny or ironic is that now, for many years after convincing myself that I could not sell anything, that my career that I chose for myself in the second half of my life has basically everything to do about marketing. I find it crazy when I think about it. When I made the decision to leave the corporate world in lieu of becoming an owner of a business where I could have more freedom and live the lifestyle I wanted, I signed myself up to become an instant marketer. All of us, as business owners, must learn the art of marketing in some form or fashion. We have to. And to be completely honest, the marketing part of business ownership was the very part I was not looking forward to at all. Of course, I knew in the back of my mind that I needed to market for people to even know that I was open for business. But my perception of marketing and the whole process was so close-minded. The only place I knew where to start was to start networking locally. After all, no one would know I'm even open for business unless I started talking to other business owners. That's when I joined and actively started participating in a local referral networking group. And it did a world of good to open up my eyes that truly the root of all marketing is building a foundation of relationships. Mike Kim says it best. Marketing isn't about closing a sale. It's about opening a relationship. That really resonates with me. And back then, though, I didn't even know who Mike Kim was. All I knew was that I was building connections locally, and people in this little networking group were getting to know me. I started gaining clients, but local networking takes a ton of time and effort. At first, I had more time than money. So it made sense for me to beat the streets and start shaking hands and being face-to-face and all over the place. But over time, I needed to be able to scale my message and leverage my time in communicating online to continue to nurture those connections that I found locally. Logically, I turned to online methods. I started exploring things like blogging, social media, and email marketing. Also, one of my first clients needed help with her marketing tasks. And soon, I stopped taking client jobs for just any administrative tasks. Instead, I was focusing on doing the content marketing tasks that people needed. Instead of being a freelancer, Scrivener Solutions grew to be a small and mighty team. And there were many commonalities in what we were doing for our clients in serving their content marketing needs. So we began to systemize our process. Scrivener Solutions transitioned from being a general VA company to a content marketing agency. And you'll hear more about those changes if you go back to episode 114, Big Changes Revealed. Now, I was an apprehensive marketer, a reluctant marketer, who has transitioned into someone who loves the art and community of marketing. Once I realized that you can step up systems to allow people to get to know you and your expertise, grow an audience, and build relationships, selling isn't sleazy at all. It's a natural transition into helping those who need and want your help. When I first started my business, I thought I had to chase after folks and convince them that I could help them. In my mind, it was like harassing them to close a sale because at that time I had a closed-minded mindset, if you will, about marketing and sales. I really wanted a way where people would just come to me. I didn't want to convince anybody of anything. I just wanted them to be able to come to me with questions and already know that they need my help and they'll ask for it. I didn't want to have to chase anyone or feel like I was pushing them into a corner to buy something they didn't want or need. Pretty much, my clients had the same feelings. They didn't want to be the sleazy, pushy salesperson, but wanted to work to build relationships, which in turn builds business. Building a platform through content marketing has led to valuable relationships to grow, not only my business, but also those of my clients. I never, ever would have imagined that I would love marketing so much, and am actually doing it for a living. Thinking back so many years ago, in my first year of college, when I convinced myself that I must change my major from marketing to business administration, I just can't believe how my life has made full circle. And I think it's cool to help solopreneurs to leverage their time and help them execute their content marketing strategy. For being such an apprehensive marketer at first, there was one thing that really turned a corner for me in my perception of marketing. And that was Ray Edwards' book, How to Write Copy That Sells, the step-by-step system for more sales to more customers more often. This is where I began to understand what copywriting is and the importance of it. Persuasive writing can be done for good or for misleading purposes. I choose to be genuine, and I know there are great techniques out there to better communicate your message. And I was seeking a way on how to better communicate. I was seeking a way on how can I communicate my message, be a better writer, and that's when Ray was presented to me. And I don't remember exactly how I came across Ray Edwards, but I want to say that I heard him as a guest on Michael Hyatt's podcast several years ago. And it had to be at least 5 years ago. I think that's when I started following him. He had an offer to receive his book, and so I signed up for the offer and I got on his list in his funnel. And that was way before I even knew what a funnel was. And I ended up purchasing Ray's Copywriting Academy courses and going to his live events. It was through Ray that my mindset had changed. Better communication, better writing leads to better and stronger relationships, which leads to growing your business. And I like the tech side of things and can see how a message can flow from one system to another. I expanded on that concept in episode 120 on how to tap into the magic of repurposing content, but I digress. The copywriting piece really gives me For me, it gives me an overview of everything and puts more structure to the whole process. What is it that you want to say so you know where you want to put the message? Whether it's email, whether it's how it would be seen in social, in email, on your website, in a podcast, in a video, whatever. All those pieces of content marketing. But the overlying part is the copywriting piece. Now, through Ray Edwards, I was introduced to Mike Kim. Mike was a speaker at Ray's live events. I'm sure that Mike had spoken at one of Ray's first 2 events, if not both. But it wasn't until last year in Ray's, I think it was his 3rd, maybe his 4th event, when Mike spoke, that something really clicked for me, and I wanted to learn more from him. Maybe it was him saying that marketing isn't about closing a sale, but it's about opening a relationship that really resonated with me. So I began listening to his Brand You podcast more intently and have really enjoyed his workshops called Copyproof and Brand You Bootcamp. And he periodically opens his Copyproof and Brand You offerings. So it's certainly worth being on his mailing list if you aren't already to learn when his next offerings are. He has a great opt-in download on his homepage, mikekim.com. And a third resource that has made such an impact on me, and this one is fairly recent. It's a pretty new book, but maybe reading it just gave me a sense of validation of knowing that I've been on the right path, and I can do this, and this is the right path for me. And this is Seth Godin's This is Marketing. You can't be seen until you learn to see. In the book, one of the things that Seth explains is that the best way to achieve your goals is to help others become who they want to be. That just really means a lot. And all the tips about marketing it just really resonates well with me. It's relationship building. And what really amps me up is to work behind the scenes, helping my clients amplify their message to make connections and market their business to realize their goals. And if helping them with the details of their content marketing task is my contribution, boy, like I said, that really charges me up. And it's kind of hard sometimes because I am this behind the scenes person to get in the forefront and actually do for my business and be in front of and market my business. But I figure I need to do that. Of course, I need to market my own business. But what I learn in marketing my own business is I get such a charge out of helping my clients, and we work through their relationship building marketing process together. It's just a beautiful thing. But anyway, I want to say thanks for listening. In the show notes, you'll find the links to all the resources I mentioned, and I do hope you enjoyed today's show. And be sure to subscribe. That would mean so much to me. Oh, hey, if you're an Instagram user, look me up and follow me at gscrivener. Take a screenshot that you've listened and share and tell me what your biggest takeaway is. And don't forget to tag me. Well, until next time, have a fantastic week.